right, and welcome to exactly that. We are here in the Nexus gaming series. We have on the left-hand side Alaska, and on the right, we have Misfit Island. So, going into Battlefield of Eternity here, I'm really excited about this map. I think there's a lot of interesting plays that can happen here. We typically see prioritization of heroes that definitely burn down the Immortal very quickly, so that's something that we want to consider. And already right out the bat, we see a hover ban onto the Vala from Alaska, and I really like this. Vala's Hungering Arrow is such a strong utility for a team to have. So taking that away from them is definitely something that you can weaken their potential Immortal burn, and then you can maybe pick up something stronger on your side. Maybe prioritize that Greymane Malthael or Lunara that we typically see being those prime burners in this situation. I just want to send out a message that we're live. Cool. All right, and it looks like we're gonna go ahead and take that Vala ban here, and I agree. It's a good ban. Shift myself over a little bit. There we go. So now we're right in front of the mic, and you guys can hear my beautiful, pretty voice. But welcome. I mean, we're in the Nexus gaming series. It's I believe it's a 8 or 9 week. There's like 169 games or something left. It's ridiculous how many. There's like 37 teams, 3 divisions. I mean, this is going to be an interesting and fun season. I already have games coming up actually tomorrow night, and I believe Sunday night as well. Tomorrow night at 7 for the Nexus gaming series, and I think Sunday too. I want to say, and then we're gonna pepper in some scrims in there too. We'll talk to a couple teams, see if we can get some regular scrims going. Just try and give a platform for these players to definitely showcase their talents. And this is gonna be fun. So we're gonna have a ban onto the Malthael here from Misfit Island, and I like that. They're doing the exact same thing. They're prioritizing 1 strong solo laner, as well as 2 a strong Immortal burn hero. Now the Greymane here I absolutely love. A well-versed hero. You can solo lane with him, but I think he's stronger in the 4-man. He's the utility that you get from him from the dive and the burst is just so strong, and just to kind of put him in the solo lane and just be like, go clear for a while, come when we need you for the objective. Like, nah, man, like put him in your 4-man and just push the heck out of a lane. So absolutely love that first pick. Now, on the side of Misfit Island, what are they going to take as their 1-2 pickup? Do they go into the tank healer composition? And okay. So they're going to be going to this tank healer, and the reason I was kind of alluding to this is because it's a very safe start to a draft. If you don't really know the direction your enemy is going to be going into, locking in a strong healer and tank puts you in a pretty good position to basically, when we go into this next ban phase, this is exactly what I was going to talk about. When we go into this next ban phase, it's going to be hard for basically, well, at least for Misfit Island, because Alaska can go in any direction at this point. Much like the vast state, there's so many, like, it's just, the ideas here are just extremely just, you can go any direction with this, is what I want to say. I'm tripping up on my own words about this because I'm really excited because they've put a good foundation to their draft, as well as Misfit Island. Since they have that 1-2 pickup, they don't have that 3rd. They really have a lot of options for their later picks, but I think it's difficult on the side because typically at this point when you're hero leaguing or team leaguing with your friends or anything, you're like, all right, they don't have a healer, we ban a healer. They don't have a tank, we ban a tank. But like now you're like, they could go double healer, but they could go double tank. Like, what do we not want to deal with? And I don't know, like a Tassadar here, in my opinion, would probably be a safe ban. I don't know if they're going to be going into it, but he would enable the Greymane way too much, and the vision that he provides is really strong. So I would honestly think that'd be strong. But they're going to go ahead and actually ban out the Uther here. Now I see why, like the Divine Shield Mosh, but I don't think, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be used. I mean, it's not a huge map, so stage dive isn't a priority, I don't think, but it's definitely... We'll see. We'll see at 10 what he's going to be taking here. But on the side of Alaska, this next ban, I'm quite interested by this because it's you want to maybe focus down still more Immortal Burn because they have the Stukov, which they can solo heal with. the Garrosh, which it's going to be a strong tank, so they can go ahead and maybe get something like a Dahaka or a Sonya, so maybe prioritizing that. But overall, I think just knocking out more Immortal Burn might be a strong choice on the side of Alaska here. It's actually going to be the Li Ming. I was wondering about that, because I was kind of thinking that there's a possibility for her, mostly because of the fact that she does have really good poke onto the Immortals from a distance, but I wasn't sure if they would go ahead and take that advantage. I'm just not sure about it. These last two slots, though, or excuse me, these next two slots on the side of Misfit Island, they're gonna need some. They're gonna still need a solo. There's just so many things they need. It's hard to just kind of guesstimate the right direction. Battlefield of Eternity. I would think that they would go and at least to a ranged assassin. At least one ranged assassin here. Maybe even pick up a mage, then flex on your. Actually, you know what? They could pick up their solo laner and a mage. It looks like it's going to be Murden. I don't think it's going to be in the solo lane, though. Still means that they're probably going to be flexing on that. Potentially an Alarak. We have seen that on a map like this. Or they could go into Artanis and just completely go into triple tank and just do something weird. But either way, on the side of Alaska, we do have these last two picks. And this is the point of the draft where it's kind of interesting, because the way they've set themselves up, they can go into a double healer or a double tank, or they could just go into a mage and, just a good solo laner. A specialist like Nazebo here wouldn't be horrible. Something like a Sylvanas is always an option as well. She does get a lot of value with the push here. I personally think that Azmodan would be wonderful for the push. The general that you can get in the lane during the Immortal phasing is extremely powerful because of the fact that they go uncontested and they will win that lane over time. So like two generals will put you from like a mid, like way into a gate. And it looks like we are going to have a DC, so we're going to go ahead and just swap that out so no one sees production value things. It looks like we had one of the members accidentally drop. It's funny that that's actually really interesting. All right, I think they agreed to just burn through this draft, so that's what they are going to go ahead and do. So we are I'm just gonna check something really quickly on the side here. No, okay. Wondering why that's not updating. We should be able to burn through this quite quickly. All right, there's the Grey Mane, which we will then go into the Stukov Garrosh, to the ETC. All right. What? Wait, what? That was a Murden before. They must be deciding that themselves. All right, so these last two slots now. What do you go into at this point? I still honestly think you could go into a mage here. And then pick up like a Dahaka for a solo lane. Or even a Falstead if you really wanted. Kael'Thuzad is still available. So I would assume you'd go into that. It's actually going to be Chromie and Diva. Chromie for the artillery and poke is going to be extremely powerful. She provides, much like a Li Ming, the same kind of asset to the immortal poke. Now, she doesn't have the resets, but there is that change that came in where she does have 60 stacks instead of 80. So I'm curious to see how that's going to be kind of adding up as we get into the later half of this game, because I believe it's uncapped. So once you hit 60, you get the... Ooh, looks like we are dropping a couple frames here. I apologize. A little bit of an internet snag. But should be all set. And there's actually a Falstead. Okay. It's interesting. I like this. This is going to be a good matchup. And we had another DC. We'll go ahead and just adjust that. All right. Well, we'll eventually get into this game. We just have to get this one member back in, and then we should be able to load straight in. So it looks like we're going to go ahead. We did the draft there like twice, so everyone's agreed to just do hero picks because we've already done this. We're currently just waiting for the one person to reconnect. Until then, we'll just be hanging out together. We do have already just one thing that we can talk about here. The map bans are actually kind of interesting. Both teams actually, first team banning Brax, the second team banning Warhead Junction. So it's interesting that we've seen a lot of quick games on there, and there's a lot of like VODs out there of a lot of teams doing very, very quick compositions. And I mean, what was it? There was like a Warhead Junction game over the weekend that was like sub 9 minutes, and you know, for it to be one of the biggest maps in the game is absolutely insane. To have, you know, a sub 10-minute game. All right, let's see if everyone's ready. Okay, just double checking that the teams are all set. That. Okay. All right. So here we go. We will be loading in finally. Mic triggered twice. There we go. We are back in. So on the left-hand side, we are going to have Alaska with Rexpa on Greymane, Bubble This on ETC, Hedgie on Chromie, Sirius on the Diva, and I just already forgot it, Vern on Rhaegar. On the right-hand side, we are going to have Misfit Island with Ripper on the Garrosh, Coldam on the Falstead, Ilarion on the Stukov, Isitru on the Jaina, and we are going to have Jesho? Oh, this is going to be interesting. We're just going to say JS. We'll just say JS for the game. But currently in the bottom lane, we have a 4-man that's going to be just taking this up for a little bit. We'll peek at top every so often, but I don't expect there to be too much really happening. The sprays do go out. Looks like we do have some posturing from Rexpa up in the shadows here. We do have a little bit of a Gilneas cocktail poke, but at the same time, the rest of Misfit Island is playing extremely safe, making sure they're not going out too far, but we do have Coldam getting a little bit caught out here. Will be able to back off, and he should be fine. We actually have the Falstaff going into Mage Stacks here. Oh, and the toss onto Bubble This with the follow-up from the Chromie, but we will have Coldam falling here, and actually Rexpa taking a little bit of damage, almost getting pulled by Ripper, but able to disengage into his human form from Worgen, which will save him from the pull from Garrosh there. With the false, oh, I was going to say with the Falstaff dead, they're going to play extremely safe, but Varen falling extremely low, being able to get out with just about 100 health is absolutely amazing there. Do have the Falstead flying back in, and now we do have them just going up against each other. We do have another 30 seconds or so before the Immortal phasing will start, so at this point they're just going to be kind of playing safe here, making sure they're not stepping out too far, especially after that first kill already. Looks like they're going to be able to just get a little bit of a poke onto Coldam here, but Stukov will be able to get that pustule out and heal them quite a bit. Now there is a throw onto Bubble This, being body blocked by the Garrosh. There is such a slope with the pull, and actually going to confirm the kill. Jaina will be getting that, and that is going to be Alaska starting this next phase with a man down, so they're going to need to play this extremely safe. Now it looks like in top lane we do have the Stukov, or excuse me, the Diva and the Artanis currently just stopping. Do have Diva currently rushing in here just to kind of buy a little bit of time, and it looks like they're actually just going to try and rush. Now the question is, are the teams going to be going into just a burn here? And it looks like they're exactly going to be doing that. The Diva actually zoning out a little bit. Question is, with the Diva being gone, are they going to be able to still burn this down quick enough? And it looks like it will be done. 844 health on the side of the Immortal for Misfit Island. But Alaska, or excuse me, Misfit the Immortal had 844 health left, so that's going to be the shielding. But we are going to see the 4-man currently going up into the top lane. The Diva will be going into the bottom to go up against that Artanis once again. So this Immortal will be moving into melee range quite quickly. It's going to get this one attack off, and then it should be getting right in there from Jaina. Garrosh trying to zone out with a few of those pulls, but it's not going to be able to get anyone. Oh, for some reason my alerts are messed up, and I apologize. I have to fix that. Currently, we do have, though, this Immortal pushing in extremely hard. Now the question is, will they be able to go in any further? But no, it looks like they're going to be able to just back off here and play extremely safe. Do have a little bit of a pull from the Garrosh there. Will not amount to anything, but at the same time, they are kind of sneaking this camp right above them. Chromie will scout out the entire team. Just Hedgie getting a little bit of damage out of a few of the players there. Checking into some of the stacking here, we only have one stack of Falstead's Mage Hammer, which is quite interesting, but he's only landed one hero stack. We currently have Chromie sitting at 13 ETCs, working through his level 1 as well. It's just going to be a standoff for this time being. They're trying to push in this minion wave, but we actually see ETC power sliding in here. Bubble This actually getting silenced with Rexpa. Puster will go out from Ilarion, but we do have Rexpa diving in on a Coldam. Ripper will get the pull onto him, but there is the toss actually. Falstead getting the hammering out. Colden trying to put that damage out for the team. Bubble, this is actually going to dive in and separate Colden from the team, and they will be getting that kill. Ripper extremely low, going to have to tap as well, and they will be backing off here, and it looks like the 7 advantage will be going over to Alaska quite soon. Just checking this bottom lane really quickly, seeing how this matchup's going. It looks like it's just been a stalemate, as we kind of said in the beginning. One thing I really like about this right here is that they're going to try and time this out with the Immortal, and that's exactly what they had it perfectly timed out. They had Rhaegar's just going to help him out for a little bit, and then Rexpa's going to finish it there, and actually they get the disengage from Artanis. They're going to go ahead and steal this away from him. And this is extremely just aggressive on the side of Alaska here, just to kind of invade that camp and just say, this is ours, and the Artanis at least having, you know, the respect just to kind of back off and be like, I think the rest of the team is with them, because I can't see them on map. But currently we do have, it looks like they're just trying to burn these down. They're not even going to be fighting underneath them. D.Va just, Sirius just being a complete nuisance to the enemy team, not being able to get the kill onto him. And fighting underneath his own Immortal will be extremely powerful. He will, oh, I thought he was going to get the, oh, there was the silence right underneath it. Okay, I was like, wow, he did not get the explosion off. That's interesting. ETC will get the power slide through. We actually have a little bit of damage going on to a few of the members here. Jaina is separated. Oh, she's rotating fine. Okay. Greymane currently in that top lane. Going to just push up that minion wave a little bit further, as well as clearing out that camp. Now, they do need to fight underneath this and protect this because it is falling extremely low. A couple of the members are going to have to back off on the side of Misfit Island. We actually have the D.Va falling here. I apologize for that. We do have the Falstead falling as well, so it's going to be a 1-for-1. And they've managed to successfully zone the majority of the enemy team away here, especially with that slowing stand from Chromie. There is a dash from the Artanis. No swap to follow. They are going to try and reverse the sides here. Cole trying coming from Ripper. Will not connect. They are going to get this huge slide from Bubble this onto the Garrosh, and they will get the kill. They're going to follow up with the Jaina as well. Now, JS is extremely isolated from his team, and I don't know what he'll be able to do. Because there is the chase, there won't be the Sand Blast will follow through. They actually get that Immortal as well during the entire time Rexpa was sitting here burning this down. We also need to note the fact that the camp that they had gotten in this bottom lane that stole away from Artanis, that's been pushing too. They just got a fort. So this is going to be the second Immortal. Now the shielding was burned away quite easily. Or it doesn't have a lot, but they are on the cusp of 10s. So the thing I'm curious about is how strong this push is about to be. We actually have Mosh coming out from ETC. Right? Am I looking at the artwork right? I am, okay. We have Cursed Bullet from the Greymane. I really like that. We have Big Shot from the D.Va and Ancestral from the Rhaegar. And I like this. Misfit Island is playing extremely passive right now. They know that they really can't go into this. The Pustule goes out. They get a little bit of zoning from the Stukov. Fetid touch the, the Lurking Arm. We do have JS just kind of get a little bit of damage onto Cirrus here. But this Immortal is currently just doing work on this gate, and they're letting it. Now, it is a little bit low. The D.Va will be using the Mecha Explosion to zone away a few of the members. There is the Artanis dash in. It will not connect onto anybody. They get the throw into Bubble this over the keep, but he has the power slide out, so we'll be able to get out of there without a problem. They get a keep, and they're going to walk away from this. And it's a nice, clean disengage, and at the same time, almost that extra hit onto Alarion, but the time trap actually saved him. And they're taking their own pace at this game. They're gonna go ahead and say we have 10s. They're really close, so let's not push this too hard. We're gonna go ahead and just start pushing back these lanes. They send Rhaegar into bottom. Varen will be going ahead and just clearing this up. 10s are achieved on the side of Misfit Island, and it looks like they want to fight. They're currently rolling as a 5-man stack, so they're giving up the camp in bottom, and 2. They're giving up the experience in bottom. They do get the flip onto Sears. The silence is there. Oh, no. D.Va will get knocked out. There is the taunt onto him as well. There's a huge mosh from the ETC, but we have Chromie in the backline just doing so much damage to so many of those members. Jaina will get 2 kills. Oh, my God. So it's a D.Va for a Garrosh, but that mosh is such a good setup for basically Chromie to be like, all right, well, have fun standing still while I just drop sand on your head constantly. And that's what we saw with that Garrosh. I mean, he just took all the center focus of that. Now, we do have Bubble this in the bottom lane. He will get the power slide out and will not be getting caught out here by the enemy team. Pushing up that bottom lane just a little bit more. But at the same time, by doing this, they pulled the entire enemy team to the bottom. This top lane is starting to push up quite a bit. And this game is just, they're slowly just kind of getting control of this game on the side of Alaska. They're doing a job of they're doing a very good job of just clearing out a wave and then just distracting the team, clearing out a wave, because currently we're having catapults stack up on that top lane, and they haven't sent anyone back yet. Now they do have the camp going out, but I don't think it's going to be reaching. It looks like it's going to stop one of the catapults. At this point, it looks like we have the D.Va doing exactly what she's been doing this entire game, just kind of zoning a little bit, slowing down this burn, and just being a nuisance. Now, we do have 13s on the side of Alaska. These Immortals are on the safe side for both teams, so the thing that okay, so what they do is they go ahead and they buy themselves a little bit of time with this. They get some vision onto the enemy team, see what they're doing, and they send Rexpa up to go ahead and clear out that camp. And the exact same thing, Misfit Island. It's singular. It throws me off. They send the Falstead down to go clear. So at this point, it's pretty much stalemated a little bit. There is the 5-man, but they just don't want to go into this engagement. Now there is a stun. The Curse Bullet does go out onto JS there, taking quite a bit of health from him. Garrosh will not be able to get the pull. ETC getting a huge slide in. The D.Va going to be able to jump in here. Ring of Frost coming out from Jaina. JS trying to get so much damage out. He's so low. The Mecha Explosion is out. Ripper will be hit by it. Falstad is actually going to be coming in here trying to save, but unfortunately will not be able. D.Va getting the kill on the Garrosh there, and as well as the Stukov, potentially even the Falstad here. Does he have a barrel roll, or he has no gust? D.Va has... Oh no, Falstad. Actually, they're going to disengage. Okay. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and burn down this Immortal. This will be pushing the bottom lane since the top is currently keepless, and it always pushes the strongest lane. They currently have Jaina, pushing this back. This is going to burn down a little bit of her mana, so she will have to go back to core, or, at least get full before this. And she's actually losing quite a bit of health. And burning a lot of cooldowns, too. So actually... Okay, she does have well, so she'll be able to rotate in. And it looks like Alaska, they're posturing in this bottom lane. They're just waiting for the Immortal. They're just like, it'll come, and we're just going to siege with it. There's no point in, getting too close to you guys, because there's a Garrosh throw, there's an Artana swap. There's the exact thing I was talking about. Bubble this, utilizing that slide out. Oh my god, just getting out of there at the last second. The healing will be able to get him back full. We do still have Ancestral, so that hasn't been used yet. Mosh Pit is still available. Slowing Sands is up in a second, and we do have 15 seconds on the Cursed Bullet. But at the same time, we do have the blind coming out from the Artanis. The healing Pustule does go out. Looks like Artanis was the only one that went in there, though. There is the pull on to Rex with a huge taunt to a couple of members. The big Ring of Frost as well. The Flaming Swipe is going to push them off of it, though. Meanwhile, this Immortal is currently pushing. There is the Mecha Explosion from the D.Va. They are getting this Ripper so slow, and he's going to be falling here. We do have Falstad trying to get some damage out. ETC sliding in onto their core entrance, and they are going to kill the Stukov as well. And it looks like this core is going to be falling. And it looks like the first game is going to go over to Alaska. GG, well played. All right, so we are going... the one thing I wanted to check. I heard some alert stuff go off. So I just want to check something really quick. I'm going to leave the stat screen up while we set up the next lobby. Actually, I'm the one who needs to set up the next lobby. So just really, really quickly, we need to talk about the Greymane siege damage. Just 2,000. Well, first off, someone has to screenshot that. Just a 70,000 flat that's just really cool. But either way, like the Greymane and the Falstad doing extremely good siege damage, but that Chromie just doing work destroying the entire enemy team from that backline. We just saw her dumping sand the entire time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change this so that way we can set up the next lobby as we go into our next game, which is going to be not the sandbox mode. We're going to Cursed Hollow. Make observer, tournament draft, team 2, because team 1 got... Okay, I just want to check something really quick because I think there might be an issue with my alert box. So I just want to update the link, and I apologize to Twitch chat for ignoring you. I don't mean to. Okay. All right. Where is the Twitch alerts? All right, we're gonna go ahead and just send a test. Okay, there we go. All right, everything looks like it's working. We should be all set. I need to swap some people around. Swap with you. Swap with you. Nope. All right, let me just I need to change the score really quick. Sorry, I'm just trying to do everything at once. I apologize, but thank you for coming by. This is the Nexus Gaming Series. We currently are going into our second game here. And please, if you're actually intrigued by this, go ahead and check it out. It's a wonderful series that they've actually put together. Left side, properties. Go ahead and update this. Boop. Okay. 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 Oh, wait. There we go. Okay, for a second it wasn't working, but we are going into Cursed Hollow here. All right. So on the left-hand side, we once again have Misfits. They are up. If anyone missed that, please check out the VOD. That's definitely something you need to check out. That first game, that Chromie just dumping sand all game. But we also have to, it's a team effort. Like, there was a lot of setup from a lot of the members there. There was, we had the Curse Bullet coming out from Rexbud, just doing an insane amount of damage, as well as the Bubble. This, I believe, was the ETC, just completely moshing them and just locking them down while we had Hedgie on Chromie just dumping sand. They had such a strong draft on the side of Misfit Island. The Falstead was really good for the disengage, but I don't think that... I don't know. It felt like they were always kind of running after them. And I don't know. The Artanis to me just felt a little weak as well. As an off laner, I think maybe something like a Dahaka might have been a little bit more valuable for them. The armor reduction would have been extremely powerful. But regardless, we are going into our second game here. Onto Cursed Hollow. So Zagara ban from Misfit Island. That's interesting. Zagara has been played on this map quite a bit, and she actually has been prioritized. And we actually see a Tassadar being hovered here. Do I sense maybe a Zeratul or a Valera coming? Or even, dare I say, a Nova? It's possible. I mean, you never know in these situations. But not only that, I mean, he's a strong strong off healer, much like what you'd pick up like a Tyrande for. But he enables auto attackers like Vala, Tracer, Greymane, a lot of heroes like that. I believe Malthael as well. That's interesting. They're gonna go ahead and first lock that to Haka, but the Tassadar I just think is a good ban. Just overall, I think his kit is extremely hard to. It's not extremely hard to deal with. It's just, I don't know. It's just something that might counter them in some way. So I think they're just maybe just locking it out so they don't have to potentially deal with it. And the same with the Zagara. I mean, she's been played so much, and her global threat on this map and the creep that she can spread will become so. It will counter the team so hard because of the fact that you can just see exactly where everyone's rotating around the map and everything. They're gonna go into a Rhaegar Falstead on the side of Alaska. All right. I'm just trying to think. Like, what else do you want to go with this? Uther's actually honestly still available. They could run the Uther with this, and then maybe pick up a mage here. Might be good for some poke damage. They're gonna actually go into the gray main. Now, do you pick up your healer with this as well? Divine Shield gray main is viable. It's an option. And if they don't pick it up, I think it's going to get banned out, to be honest. Okay. They're actually going to go into the Arthas here. Getting that just that strong tank and as well as that lockdown. But I wouldn't be too surprised to see an Uther ban here. Alaska has their healer. I don't think they're going to be, you know... Oh. That's interesting. And that's something that'd be horrible to deal with, too. Looking at the composition of Misfit Island. Okay, they're actually gonna go. They're gonna go with the Abathur ban. This is interesting. I'm not sure. I don't know why they would. I know, like, it's a it's a big map, and Abathur does do well here, but, like, I don't think there's anything in their composition that lends me to think that they would go into an Abathur. The Grey Main duplicate, yes, it is strong, but overall, I just don't think that their composition's built well enough to lend itself to having that Abathur. Well, no, because you do have Dahaka constantly pushing up, so he can... It's 50-50. Like, I'm just not sure. It is they do have a pretty decent 4-man, so it really just depends on who they would go in with a healer. Then maybe an Ariel, then that would go mesh well together. And it looks like they're going to have that ETC ban, because that ETC in the last game was not something they want to deal with again. So in this this next phase of the draft here, these next two picks from Alaska. Excuse me. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them maybe prioritizing a melee assassin or just the double... No. Like a melee assassin and a... Ooh, what if they went to like a Malthael and then they went to a Garrosh as well? That'd be interesting. Because they have the double tank, so Malthael would work out here. He can solo lane, which will be strong. Then you can actually you can do a little bit of roaming. They could also go into a Tyrande too. The vision that she provides with the with her owls or with the sentinels is extremely beneficial. But they're actually going to go into Joanna Kael'Thuzad. So we are going to see... Ooh. That portrait just always gets me, because it's like the bottom jaw looks so weird in relation to the rest of the entire skin. So I'm just absolutely unsure about... Oh, man. Yeah, I just... That skin gets me every time. But either way, we'll go into these last two picks here on the side of Misfit Island. They're gonna need a healer, and I think that they would maybe go into a mage here as well. I think honestly the Jaina that they had in the last game would be pretty strong to have once again. She provides a lot of good fight, a lot of good AoE damage and poke damage to these curse points and the objective. So. But we'll see. We're going to see what these last two slots are going to be. It's going to be Vala Uther. Okay. It's just a very... It's so standard. I mean, realistically, both teams kind of seem the same way. It's, you got your off-tank, you got your melee assassin, you got your ranged assassin. It's like they kind of just checked all the boxes, and specialist gets thrown out the door because it's not that special. No, I mean typically it's just the whole argument of like I could go into this hero who's a specialist who just does this, or I could just go into a Dahaka which can do that plus be a global threat and also completely, you know, tongue an enemy hero and pull them into the backline. Like it's the utility that you get from Dahaka. It just, you don't need that, you know, that specialist anymore because he is that specialist. There's the Malfield that we talked about earlier in the draft. So this is interesting. Solo tank, solo healer, triple assassin. And I'm assuming Falsta's going to be going into the auto attack build. So he will scale throughout the game. Kael'Thuzad's going to scale throughout the game. Vala and Greymane will scale. Greymane getting that burst right around, you know, that 7 to 10 area. This is going to be a matchup. I think honestly in the late game, both of these teams are going to absolutely just be terrifying.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
Alrighty, on the left-hand side, we do have Varen on Rhaegar, Sierras on Malthael, Falstad on Hedgie, Bubble This on Joanna, and Rexpa on Kael'Thuzad. On the right-hand side, we have... Excuse me. We'll try and do it without it. We do have a Citru on the Greymane, Alaren on the Uther, JS on the Dahaka, Ripper on the Arthas, and we have Koldam on the Vala here. She's actually going to be rotating straight into bottom lane, which is interesting. Right? That's quite... I mean, the vision, yeah. Oh, okay. They're just going for the vision. I was like, why are you running straight into the bottom lane? It's so interesting. It's so weird. And keep an eye on... looks like... Okay, so they do have the stacking here in the UI, so I will be able to track that throughout the game. And we actually do have the false day going into that into the auto attack build, excuse me. Actually, we're going to have the Uther going into the damage build as well. It's going to be interesting. It's the solo healer. We do have the chains going out onto Ripper, connecting onto a Laren. Howling Blast from Ripper will not connect, and we currently have the Falstad flying up into top lane. Hedgie will be going up against JS, dodging the tongue right away. We do have Koldam in the bottom lane. Sierras will be going down there. Should be able to match up against her quite easily. Now, we do have Rexpa hiding in the bush here, trying to get a little bit of an ambush as Bubble This and Varen walk in the lane. But Citru, Ripper, and Alaren are like, we're just going to stay over here by our gate. We know what you're getting at. We're just going to wait. You know, we'll play safe for the next 2 minutes until we have to fight you. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're making sure to spread out extremely well on the side of Misfit Island, and I really like that. They're making sure that if the chains do go off from the Kael'Thuzad, that they're not going to get caught into each other and then potentially just give him stacks. And that's a really, really strong thing for a team to make sure that they're doing. They're not stacking up on top of each other like that. I believe this is pre-nerf. This is the Kael'Thuzad on the current balance patch. In top lane, we actually have a little bit of a matchup here between the Dahaka and the Falstad. JS using that Essence, Hedgie dodging the actual tongue right there. Take a peek back into mid, though. We do have quite a bit happening here. Arthas is falling extremely low. Ripper will have to back off. Getting that Howling Blast, though, onto Varen. Bubble This will be able to just kind of stay in lane and just block them. I don't know if the balance patch had nerfs for him or if that was the PTR. I honestly am not sure. I kind of, meshed the two together because I read them all at once and then just got really excited about everything. So I apologize, but I am not sure. It looks like Hybertus will know in chat, so thank you. It looks like we currently just have the standoff. Everyone's just kind of posturing up for the first objective, and it will be in this bottom lane position, so... We're going to have the rest of the team rotating. And this is actually perfect for the Dahaka sort of
New
the
follower
Falstad.
detected.
Well, thank you so much for the follow. We do. Falstad does have the global range, but the thing is, it's a range, whereas Dahaka is just, it's global. So he can actually come in through these bushes, whereas Falstad has to kind of rotate into lane a little bit here, but they are going to be in that top lane for quite some bit. We do have a little bit of stacking here, and Rexpa will be able to get quite a bit of stacks off of a few of these members. They are going to get the poke here from Coldam, but they do have a huge engagement. There's actually pull onto a few of the members. Ripper falling extremely low. Varen going in for the bite butt as Rhaegar. We do have Coldam putting out quite a bit of damage on that Vala. Falstad is flying now in, not getting cold rooted by the Arthas. Currently, Ripper falling extremely low, trying to 1v1 the Falstad, but he will actually be rotating in. We actually have Rhaegar falling here, and it looks like there will be a disengage completely from Alaska. They're going to be giving this over, it looks like. And we actually have, I apologize, we actually missed that. Joanna is falling in bottom lane. So this will be given over to Misfit Island. It's going to be the first curse point. But at the same time, we do have these giants still pushing in top. And I don't think... Does Dahaka have burrow yet? He actually gets the tongue onto Sierras down here, and he will be falling. So they're going to get that extra kill, which will push them over into the level 7 talents. And we actually see the Wizened Duelist from the Greymane here. That's quite a ballsy pick, to be honest. I mean, if you know that you're not going to be dying, definitely something that you can take if you know that you can manage to not die, basically. Currently in bottom lane, we have the Dahaka going up against Johanna. Falstad currently being contested in top, and Kel'Thuzad going up against Ripper in mid. And just stacking off him constantly. We do have the next curse happening in top lane. So as we know by deduction, if it was bottom mid, top left, we are going to have the third one is going to be in this bottom right-hand location. So look to see them posture up, a minute after this ends around that area. And it looks like we're just going to pull down the talents here and just try and get vision of this completely. But it looks like Misfit Island, they were a little out of position while they were just kind of getting this camp. So they went ahead and they actually just gave that over. And they're not going to fight over it. Now Falstad flying into that bottom lane. We do have Ripper a little bit far forward here. They do get the pull. Rexpa is completely just putting so much damage out onto him. Slowing Totem is out from Varen, but they will be able to just to kind of hide behind their minion wave here, which is just a smart move. They're not really, taking too much damage. Minion wave will get some of those ability shots, and as well as the lightning bond damage as well. So they're just staying safe and not taking unnecessary damage. But at the same time, the one thing I want to note is Malthael's been uncontested in top lane for this entire time. So he's just been soaking up, and that level advantage that they have is starting to go, and I was completely wrong with my prediction. It is top right. I thought it rotated into bottom, but either way, we have a little bit of engagement here. Falstad probably doesn't have fly yet, neither does the Dahaka, so they will be in that bottom going up against each other, but a Seatrue falling extremely low here, having to back off. Uther will be able to get some of that healing out onto him, so they will be able to re-engage here quite soon, but they are just trying to work for those 10s. And it looks like Alaska wants to try and take this before that happens. We actually have the Falstad falling in bottom lane. We have the pull in onto the Vala. Sierras is going to get a little bit of damage out there. The blind from Bubble This will stall this out for a few more seconds. Falstad is going to be back in about 10 seconds. He might have the flight in here. It looks like they're going to go... They're just going to disengage at this point. But at the same time, in this top lane, Sierras has pushed this up quite a bit, so this will be yielding them the gate down, and they're starting to work towards that well. Looks like the Arthas will be going up against him. Now, at this point, Alaska needs to play a little bit safe. They want to get their 10s, so they don't want to be taking unnecessary damage, much like how they were playing extremely safe on the side of Misfit Island. Rexpa trying to get that chain onto the Uther. Looks like they will get the pull in here. And I'm just gonna pop around these lanes. Looks like in top we do have a little bit of a matchup here. Sierra's kind of taking Ripper down a little bit. In bottom lane we do have this JS going up against Hedgie here. It's been pretty easy or even matchup, but Dahaka's starting to push back quite a bit here. Hedgie playing a little bit safer by his gate, making sure that he's just not going to be caught out here by the tongue or anything, as well as maybe a potential rotation from any of the enemy members. And they're just playing extremely safe for pretty much everyone except... Oh, it looks like in top lane, we do have the Vala rotating up here. But this is also the tribute in the bottom lane, so they currently have to rotate 2 members across the entire map. Now, Dahaka, Falstead, you know, they're global heroes, but they got the most convenient rotation to make. It looks like we do have Hedgie going ahead and coming into his team. Rexpa and Varen are going to go ahead and start the channel on this. Rexpa getting the zoning here. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and capture this. And there's actually a boss attempt currently happening in this top lane. Falstead flying up. There is Gust available, so they do have that boss control. Look to see that potentially happening. Ripper is extremely low. We actually see it chase onto a few of the members. Vol getting actually gusted away. We do have Sierra's falling here. Hedgie with just 180 health, just not connecting onto the Ancestral, and it looks like they're going to go straight back onto this boss now that the boss control is kind of over with because of the fact there's no Gust to, you know, get them off that. But at the same time, they do get the pull onto a few of the members. The boss was unlinked, so it got all of his health back, so they would have to basically fight the boss twice, and I don't think they have time for that. But at the same time, luckily the minion wave has been here, so they will have to potentially clear this quickly. But at the same time, the tribute's spawning, so it looks like they're going to have to go ahead and give up bottom, potentially to get this, because this is tribute point, and they just need their Falstead to get in here. Gust is available in about 10 seconds. They do get the pull onto Vala. Vaulting away, though. Cooldown just making sure he's not going to be stacking up too much there. But we actually have C-True trying to channel adaptation pop from JS. They actually get the tongue on the Lumbers, but the Gust is already there. Currently, Rexpa with the save against the enemy team. C-True just sitting there trying to collect this the entire time. There's the Ancestral onto Rexpa, so he will be coming back in as Kel'Thuzad trying to get more of that damage out. And a few of the members are stacking up on top of each other. Huge kill onto Arthas here. But they actually are going to get the counter kill onto the Malthael, but at the same time, Hedgie will get the counter kill onto a C-True. And they are going to be getting this curse point. Now, in the same time, bottom lane has been pushed up, and they did get the fort with this this giant. So I'm assuming the flight might be available. Are they going to take the boss is the question. They have a little bit of map control for quite a bit here. Actually, are we going to... No, the Vala is not going to be getting chased. So we do have Falstaff flying into that bottom. Johanna will be going ahead and clearing up this mid wave. This is the fastest Johanna will ever clear a wave. Falstaff getting... it's just going to get a bunch of stacks, actually, for Season Marksman here. We're going to go ahead and actually see in mid that there is Bubble Disc potentially could get caught. Oh, no. Okay. They're going to back off here. And they actually... Rexpa will be hearthing back here. We do have Vern potentially getting caught out. There is the Dahaka going across the other way. The tongue will be dodged at the last second. And Varen is taking these guys on a stroll just across all of Cursed Hollow. He is just running these guys around. Now, at the same time, he pulled the entire enemy team of Misfits to the top lane. So, Alaska will go ahead and work on their boss. And it looks like they kind of say the same thing. With Curse being over... And this bottom is just stacked with minions, and as well as this top, they really should have. They're gonna go ahead and get the boss here, which will start to push up. But the boss in the bottom lane might get a little bit more value. The minion wave's way farther pushed up, so they're gonna pretty much just. They should honestly just be trading lanes here. Actually, Dahaka's gonna brush talk into bottom, and potentially gonna get caught out here. Does not look like it will be happening. And they're gonna push with a few members on this boss. Looks like they'll just put Sierras in this top lane, and they're going to push up a little bit further, potentially getting ganks here. We do have the siege camp being picked up once again on the side of Misfit Island, so that's going to be rotating to that bottom lane, which is the exposed lane for them, so they do want to make sure that they clear that up as quickly as possible. But at the same time, this boss got quite some value, honestly. They got the fort in the bottom lane. Question is, oh no, they're gonna save this easy. Okay. Now, all right. Potential gang just being set up by Alaska here. It looks like they've dedicated quite a few members into this mid lane. Looks like their Rhaegar will be going ahead and get that siege camp, and that should be pushing up into top. That top fort just with a sliver of health. Kel'Thuzad trying to get that hook. He's actually gonna. We will have Arthas finishing his level 1 talent, or level 1 quest at this point. 16 is actually extremely close on the side of Misfit Island here, so Alaska needs to be a little bit safe. Now, at the same time, they do have those giants in that top lane that are pushing up quite a bit. They do also have their Falstead in bottom, which will be kind of clearing up the wave quite quickly. So by the time they actually get 16s, I don't think they're going to even be in position. And also, the other thing to note, Curse Point should be coming up quite soon. I love the Vol just kind of vaulting forward and saying, I'll get one shot auto on this. And with the entire enemy team in that top lane, they're going to rotate into mid and potentially go for a fort here. Does not look like they actually will, because there's also 16s on the side of Misfit Island. So if they can just get a mini wave here, they will achieve 16s, and they do. This mini wave actually pushing into this fort is going to delay them quite a bit here. They're not going to make it here in time, so they're not going to be going for this, it looks like, actually. Yeah, the majority of Alaska is pulled into this area for this. But the only value, I don't really know why they did that. Maybe Brush Shock wasn't on cooldown? I can check. No, it was off cooldown. That's interesting. But either way, they are currently just setting up this mid for quite a good push here. Howling Blast will come out from Ripper. It will not connect onto any of the members. No, we are just on live server, just to answer you extremely late there. We do have Dahaka coming in to the back line. JS is going to be just kind of poking into these bushes. We do have Kel'Thuzad trying to get that combo onto one of the members, but it will not connect. Meanwhile, though, we do have Falstad in top lane just kind of just pushing that up every so often, making sure that experience is there, working in those seasoned marksman stacks. This is this is a bush party. We have to be very quiet, though. Always have to be quiet during bush parties. The big question is, are they going to rotate through it? Unfortunately, no. Since the curse is on the entire opposite side of the map for them, that bush actually set up Alaska to kind of posture around this next curse point ahead. So they're set up a little bit. They do actually get the vision, see them coming in from this direction. It looks like they will go ahead and get their set up. Potentially, they are going to be able to pull in the Greymane, get a huge explosion from Rexpa there, annihilating a Citro, and he's going to be losing those Wise and Duo stacks at level 7. We actually have Ripper getting caught out here a little bit, getting pulled in by the Condemned from Bubble This. Will not get connected from the Kel'Thuzad chain, though. Currently, though, bottom is being responded to. It looks like it got pushed in quite a bit. Hedgie working on those stacks at 33 out of his 35, I believe. So he's getting pretty close. He should be finishing those stacks quite soon. Maybe another minion wave or two. And it looks like they will be getting... The Rhaegar will go ahead and get the top lane siege camp. JS almost getting caught out there, but rotating away right away. And this is Curse Point once again for both teams. Now, this is potentially, this is where the game can really start to shift in people's favors. Now, we do have Bubble This getting caught out a little bit here by a few of the members. We do have the rest of the team here. Now, there is no connect onto that Kel'Thuzad combo, unfortunately. We currently have a C-Troop finally coming back into this fight from that death, I believe. Navio getting that, just a little bit of that poison out. And they're playing extremely safe here. They really don't want to get caught out too much. We actually see the Uther getting pulled in. We have the adaptation currently used by JS, and he will be actually getting a proc. Now, we do have the disengage gust from Falstad, so they will be able to save that. Now, Uther is finally dead, so they can actually potentially go into a few of the members, but they do get this curse, and they're going to really start to rush up this lane onto a few of the members. Rexpa dodging the... Oh, no. He's actually he's so slow he can't even get to his teammate. I was thinking that Rex was gonna use the chain for the connection, but he had been slowed by so many things from his own team that the chain wouldn't have reached. So, but they do get this curse point, and they are going to be pushing extremely hard into this bottom lane. We currently have the Siege Giants being addressed by the Dahaka in top. Now they are going to be going straight onto this keep, and that is going to confirm them near 20s. Maybe they just need a minion wave or two here, and they should be getting that. They do have almost another 30 seconds left on their curse. Arthas won't be back for another 25, so they can definitely burn down this keeper. And it looks like they will actually get the pull onto the Uther, who will go ahead and heal himself at the last second. But there is the shield glare from the Blessed Shield from Bubble. This will get the kill onto Uther. And that is 2 keeps and 1 curse, and this is exactly what I was talking about. 2 keeps, and it set these guys up for such just like a winning condition at this point. They have 1 keep left in the top lane. That is the enemy boss. So if they do go in for this invade, potentially that could be a game-ending situation. But that was the one thing that I was talking about, that this curse with the level that people are at currently in the game, it can completely sway the favor over to one team. And that's exactly what it did. They got their 20s, they got a couple of those kills, and then they could go straight onto that other keep. And so that was just an extremely good push by Alaska there. Now, JS and Asitra will be clearing out that top lane, regrouping with their team here. And they're going to need to play a little bit more defensively here, but at the same time, they do have their 20s finally. So it is even matchup. But the thing that I'm talking about is that they have catapults going up into their mid and bottom lane. And it's definitely something that's going to they're going to have to respond to every so often. And this is going to be a lot of Dahaka to make sure that he's constantly pushing these back. They actually go ahead during this entire time while they're just clearing these lanes. They steal the boss. There was no boss check because of the fact that their lanes were so far pushed in from that curse. Bubble is actually going extremely far forward, just clearing out the minion wave as quickly as possible. Getting the blind out onto Coldam a little early. Grasp from Rexpa there at the last second. We're going to go ahead and pull that down. We actually have Ripper falling extremely low. Excuse me. Oh my god, the Tormented Soul's coming out here. There's a huge disengage gust from Hedgie. There's the shield glare out onto a few of the people. The Storm Shield does go out from the Rhaegar. The Ancestral does connect onto Sears at the last second. They actually get the kill onto Arthas here. Ripper is going to be falling. Now Asitra is trying to dive onto that boss, trying to save him. Looks like adaptation will be used by JS. They actually get the kill onto Rexpa, but he has returned right away. That is going to be the keep falling. GG, or excuse me, the core falling. GG, well played. The second game going over to Alaska.